All right, good morning, everybody. Hopefully, you're able to see me okay. Um, I was just playing around with some of the video settings in my app here. I realized they weren't the greatest, so hopefully the quality of the video and the audio is okay. Um, Seeing a little bit of delay on my end over here. Also, I've got the AC running, not because it's real hot outside yet, but because it is very humid. In fact, I'm going to crank that up just a bit. But anyway, hopefully everything looks and sounds okay. I turned off the mirroring for for the front camera. So I'm having to get used to that. Let me know. Let's see. Yeah, hey, look, it worked. You can actually read Avis, like, yeah, the right way. Yeah, Avis is printed the right way now. Sweet. Okay. Cool, I fixed that. Anyway, that's been driving me nuts for a while. So glad I figured that out. Good morning, Miko. Let's see. I'm just looking at something popped up here on the YouTube control panel. Anyway, good morning, Miko. Good morning, Ronald. Good morning, James Randolph. Ronald, yes, that does sound like a good day. 51 and overcast. Yeah, it was mostly overcast here all day yesterday, and we got a number of storms come through, and no damage, just heavy rain, some thunder and lightning, couple trees down here and there across the area. Nothing here at the house though, fortunately. And of course, days like that have to happen on the days that I'm working. Yeah, I hate that. I love a good rainy day. Y'all know that. I love rainy days. Anyhow, so I'm glad to be back in the shop on a Wednesday. It's been a while since I've been out here on Wednesday with everything that was going on leading up to the test and everything that I needed to get done and other stuff. So it's good to be back out here. I'm feeling the energy. I didn't stay up too late last night, so I think that's maybe part of the issue too. I'm doing all right. Anyway, so I hope all y'all are doing okay. Yes, I passed the test. I wanted to say thank you for everybody who commented on my last vlog entry, the Cop to Locksmith video. Lots of really good ideas. I've not gotten a chance to respond to everybody in there yet, but I really appreciate it, and I'm going to go back through and I'm going to talk more about that in a future video on there. I'm not sure exactly when I'll do another video on it. Probably sometime in the next week or so, maybe. But anyway, I still haven't got my license number yet, which the actual physical license I must have in my possession before I can actually go out and do any work. That is part of the state law. That is something that is covered on the test, and you must have that in your possession before you can go do anything. Let's see. Good morning, Wallers, and good morning, G Key Man. Here, but also at the flea market. Alrighty, we'll see you after a while. So yeah, let me, actually, while I'm thinking about it, just going to go on the Locksmith Licensing Board website real quick and see if maybe it's been updated there yet. Nope, hasn't. Okay. I was thinking maybe, maybe the website, the online database would be updated prior to getting my actual license in the mail. And the reason why is because on any advertisements, business cards, signage, anything, locksmith must display their license number on there. That is also a state law. So I'm wanting to get some business cards made up. And I've got two things to debate right now. Let's see. Yeah, Waller's, that's correct. Until until the actual license card, which is just like a photo ID card, and that plus I believe there is a actual like certificate size license that also comes with it, because you have to display that prominently in your shop. Obviously, if you're mobile only, then you're not going to, you're not really going to have a shop to display it prominently in. But, hey, I've got a shop. No, nobody's going to be coming here, but I can proudly display it on the wall. So yes, I am stuck until I actually get my license in the mail. But like I was saying, if I get the license number, I can go ahead and start maybe looking at business cards, because they said it would be about 2 weeks from the date of the test until getting our stuff in the mail. I don't believe it's actually going to be that long, because there were only 9 of us, and 2 weeks is a safe period of time to tell people, hey, just give them 2 weeks. I know how that works. We all know how that works. So, I'm expecting it to come sooner than that, but they said 2 weeks. The other thing is, I need to figure out, I guess, a logo, and figure out if I'm going to do a business name or I don't want to incorporate yet. Obviously, later if I grow, I would need to. I don't know about that. I need to talk to somebody locally about, for one, filing for a business license, and then, which from what I read in my county, because that differs county to county, and from what I've read in my county specifically, is not that big of a deal. Basically, you fill out a form and pay them like $25, and you're good to go. And it's just to register a name that you're doing business as. But getting back to the important stuff, I need to figure out a logo, and I don't know if I want to use something like my lockpicking patrolman logo or not. I know that I've got some ideas, but I'm not, with my setup on this computer, and I guess I just need to try, as far as figuring up some sort of design. And of course I need to figure out kind of a future business name. Even if I'm going to go to work for somebody else, I need to figure that out for myself. That way I can have it established. So there are a few things like that I need to really sit down and kind of suss out. And I've got a lot going on still. Even though the test is behind me, I've got some other stuff going on that I need to worry about over the next few weeks. Just until, anyway, until I get things figured out, I guess. Let's see here. Hey, litter picker. Don't want to incorporate. Might want to go LLC. Yeah, LLC would be an idea. And sole proprietorship, yeah, from what I've read here is pretty simple as well. Doing sole proprietorship, that's sort of what the business license is for in this county, is basically, and not just for this county, but you can register that you're going to be doing work in other counties, but you're based here. So I'm not sure. I need to pick up the phone and actually talk to somebody about that, figure that out. I don't think I need to go like LLC or anything until maybe like I get to the point where I have my own shop, my own storefront, which I'm not really. I don't see that happening in less than a year from now. Let's see. LLC. Yeah, if something happens, don't lose my house. Hey, Anthony. Yeah, and somebody, I forget who it is. It might be one of y'all that's here in the chat right now. Somebody asked me in the comments on my Cop to Locksmith vlog from yesterday, how much of a bond I had to put up or something like that. Here in North Carolina, you're not required to do that. Some states require you to do that, but not here in North Carolina as a locksmith. They might require it for other things, but for a locksmith, you don't have to put up a bond in order to establish a business or get a license. Which, I mean, that's pretty decent. But, obviously that's something I'll need to look at in the future as well. Because for right now, I think what my plan is for right now, like the immediate future being the next 90 to 120 days, what I need to do is basically just get my name out there by doing some work for people, because I know people and people who know other people, and they would be able to get me out there, I guess you could say, doing smaller jobs. And I need to get in a position doing that, which means I need to get a vehicle. Because like I was saying the other day, I don't really have a personal vehicle right now. I'm working on that. But I don't have one at this moment, which is fine because, by the time I'm looking at actually having one, the possibility that's coming up that I actually have one, I would be a little bit closer. It's all gonna fit in time-wise. That part's hopefully all going to fit in. But just doing some work on the side, getting my name out there at the same time of trying to find a shop, an existing shop somewhere within practical driving distance that I can go to work for maybe a year or so. That's sort of what my goal is. I know I'm kind of rambling right now. Let's look at the chat. Tax license, insurance. Yeah, Miko. Here, you really they like for a sole proprietorship. Unless if you have a storefront, they don't make you get a tax license. They basically register you as doing business for whatever, and then basically the responsibility is on you to come up with the taxes and pay into that and know where to go state and local. Of course, federal, state, and local taxes. Let's see. If it's medium or high risk of being sued, then let's see. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to. Don't want to lose my house for sure. So yeah, definitely something. Something to protect that. I've only been in the house for 2 years, so I don't have equity in it yet, but I don't see myself moving from here pretty much till it's paid. Let's see. Litter picker, YouTube logo may be a little busy. Yeah, I like that idea, litter picker. And probably not even put the cat in there, just do a padlock. I've got a few ideas. I looked online because somewhere in the business name, I don't want it to be Lock and Key. There's so many locksmiths with the name Lock and Key in their business name. And I just don't want to do that. I want to do, locksmithing in the business name. I don't know. I don't know why. That just appeals to me more. So something clean and recognizable and not goofy. But I guess, I don't know. Slick, simple, recognizable, and on topic. Yeah, there we go. That sounds good. Yeah, Anthony, separate bank account and debit card. Yeah, that'll happen. A website. Yeah, Ronald. Definitely so. Just because, to get out there, to start with, Jason left that tip in a comment on my video from yesterday, about doing a website, Google verification, blah, blah, blah. Really, to start with, the best thing that I have is would be business cards. Because again, I'm going to be doing it just kind of by word of mouth until I can figure out where I'm going to go from there. Also, is video doing crazy stuff on y'all's end? Because on mine it's jumpy. Is that doing it on y'all's end? Yeah, mileage tracking. Yeah, Anthony, I've got a program. Actually, it's open source for service call type stuff. you know, and it's similar to what we actually use for our agency for our CAD system, and because we went with an open source solution for us because we're very unique in as how we need things to be customized, and it was just going to blow the budget out of the water paying for solutions. So I've got a solution for, like, call tracking and documentation. Not an all-in-one solution like I would prefer, but I've got a basic solution to start with. Yeah, Anthony, I can do that. Locksmith Esquire the Third. Okay, video fine. Okay, cool. All right, I wasn't sure. Yeah, I plan on asking some locksmiths I know. But let's see, now it's a bit jumpy. What is going on? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, now it's saying that it's gonna be buffering. That sucks. Let's look here. My quality is set to auto, but it's like at 360p for the YouTube. But in my settings, I've got it set to like 4K. Give me like a minute or less to see if I can fix this. So let me type that in the chat as well in case I cut myself off. All right, so maybe now this is working better. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. Hopefully. Let's see. Hey, Wint GmbH. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, Anthony. Yeah, in real estate, I'm sure you would deal with a bunch of all that. So I may hit you up like on Twitter DM sometime. And yeah, the LLC being the correct choice. What I've read and what I know of doing this, I think the LLC definitely would be the best part. That way the actual liability is limited to the business itself. And I wouldn't lose my house and my ass in the process. Because I don't want that to happen. So anyway, but yeah, we'll figure that out. So what we came here today for, as long as the video is looking good, which Waller says it's looking good, so hopefully the video is looking good right now. I reduced the output and decreased the frame rate maybe a little bit. Which I don't know why YouTube has been giving me these errors. I mean, it says that my stream status is poor. And now it says that it's healthy. So I have no clue what it's doing. I really don't. But as long as it's coming through fine for y'all, that's what matters. So anyway, let's see. All right, Anthony, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll hit you up later. Okay, Okay, video is better now. Okay, cool. All right, so today we are here because we're going to be doing some picking. I mean, that's how I started, and that is, that's what we're here for, right? I mean, we're here for a little bit of everything, but I started out picking, and I love helping other people learn how to pick. And one of our people here, who is in the chat today, was about ready to just completely destroy, bury, unbury, and then destroy it again. One of these guys. Yep, the Abus 80 Ti-50s. These locks are really, really cool. And when I do get a shop and business set up and everything, I plan on stocking some of these at least. Just because the outside body is aluminum, the inside is nickel plated. Yeah, they are susceptible to shimming attacks. Probably a good blow from a hammer would take one of these off as well. But for the most part, I mean, this is a good chunk of aluminum, and it's built to withstand the elements, and it is a 6-pin lock. Normally comes with really great bitting, and they've got security pins in them. Let's see. Yep. Hey, Dark Arts. Good morning. Yep. Lots of tension. Sometimes no tension. James, yeah, that's what I was thinking. When I can quit my day job, that's when we're going to switch some things over. But anyway, let's get the camera turned around and focus down here on the bench. That way we can look at some ways to defeat this lock. And y'all have seen me pick them before. So we're going to go over a few tips. And Doubt, they are a fun pick, and they are quick once you've kind of got them down a little bit. But not all of us here have got them down. So we're going to be doing a tutorial. I told somebody he can name himself in the chat if he wishes to, but I'm not going to out him. So anyway, we're going to pull this lock up and kind of talk about what's going on in here and what we've got to deal with. Like I said, it is a spring-loaded locking pawl system, which doesn't affect picking, but it does affect bypassing. And you can use some padlock shims, which I do not have, and basically just shim them down in there. I think there's enough of a gap in there to get down in and pop these open without having to even bother with a pick. Also, we may sacrifice one of these. I'll do a standalone video if I decide to. I just don't know if I want to. I hate putting down a good lock. But, sometimes it's for science. So, what we've got going on in here, like I said, we've got 6 pins. And you can see that's pretty decent bitting. It starts out low and then goes high and then takes another deep low down here. This one, a couple highs in the front, couple lows towards the back. I think I've got another couple of keys, yeah. Because I did have one other of these locks that I did put down and drill out. Let's see, that's basically what we just looked at, low and then a bunch of highs behind it. Here we've got, up, down, low. Here we've got a really good bitting, really low in the front, and a couple really high in the middle, and another decent bitting there. So, would I use these? All right, so Ronald, I guess you outed yourself then. But yeah, Doubt, you've got kind of what I feel too. But we've been picking for a good while, and we picked through some really, really difficult locks actually. So here's kind of what I think of. And a few weeks ago, I was talking, I think it was in my vlog entry, talking about what actually got me into lock picking to start with. And, it was that sort of techno thriller series books, the Agent Pendergast by Preston and Child. And in a couple of the books, there are scenes where Pendergast, the main protagonist, he is examining a lock and, trying to, not trying to figure it out, but he's basically described as examining a lock, and with a padlock. I remember one line, one passage through that book was Agent Pendergast held the lock in his hand and gently, almost lovingly caressed it, and with a brief flash of his fingers, the lock popped open, as if by magic. We know that you can't really do that, but, what we can do is we can feel the lock. And so the first thing that I like to do, make sure that you loosened up. Pop everything, kind of do your finger yoga, stretch, twist, turn, all that good stuff. That way your fingers have a good feeling in there. Let's see, y'all are. Oh Lord, Delp. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed your impromptu live the other morning too. Hey Brian. Yeah, James, you can't really just lovingly caress it until it opens, unless if it is a master lock. That's a really good book series, by the way. If you like techno thriller mystery type books, those are really good. And I you can start with the Relic and work your way up from there. But anyway, so the next thing that we look at is the tools that we need. And the reason why we need to consider our tools is, at first glance, this, that keyway seems to be fairly wide open. But if you go and put a, like a deeper hook like this, you're not going to be able to reach up past the warding in there. Take a standard hook, like this is one of the Southward standard hooks Ronald sent me. You can get in there and you could probably do it, but the shaft gets a lot wider the closer back to the handle you get. So my favorite for these is the Sparrow's Tron. And you can see the shaft stays fairly narrow, coming back through. Yeah, I need to reapply the grip on this. And it allows you to work kind of off of the edge over here. Now, for tensioning, you could use a top of the keyway tensioner up here and kind of get in there. It may give you a little more feedback in your finger, but I don't know. I mean, it can work, and it can give you more room to maneuver your pick down here. But I've just found it kind of tricky to keep the tensioner in there. So what I like to do is use a bottom of the keyway tensioner and use a good thick wiper insert. The fact that this has a little bit ground down here doesn't matter. It can be full width across because we're going to stick it all the way in. And you want to make sure that it turns the plug but doesn't rub up against the actual shell. So something that does that right there is what you're looking for. And then to start with, what I like to do is just put a finger or two over here on the tensioner and turn it just enough to get the slack out of the plug. So you can see how, that's kind of spring loaded there. And so turn it just enough to do this. Let's see. Let's see. LPL can do that. Mere mortals need tools. Yeah, I don't even think LPL can do that. James, yeah, those are good. Those are good books. I would recommend them. Hey, Lock-A-Lot. Good morning, and see you later again. Thank you for dropping by to say hello. Let's see, the Sparrows Tron. Yeah, I mean, basically, Anthony, because it's a shallow hook and the shaft of it doesn't get too wide, that's why I really like it for these locks. Let's see. Yeah, Lock-A-Lot, don't get in trouble at school. But anyway, get this, tensioner in here, and you're going to pull the slack out of it just enough. And you can see it has pretty good turn on there, but we're just going to hold it just like that. And then we're going to take the hook and go in and just feel each pin. And if it has just the slightest bit of springiness to it, like in this one, pin 1, I don't know if you can see in there or not. Pin 1 kind of has a little bit of springiness. We could force it, but we don't have to. Now, another thing just to keep in mind is the way that Abus pins these. Pin 1, chamber 1, the closest to the face of the lock, is always going to be a standard pin. The rest of them are going to be spools. Gotta go to geometry. That's not a fun class. I never liked math. And yes, the Tron is amazing as a short hook. All right, we'll see you later. Lock-A-Lot. Yeah, don't get in trouble. All right, so what you want to do, again, is take the slack out of the plug, take the short hook. Pin number 1 has a little bit of movement on it and no feedback, because what we're looking for is binding and feedback. So like 2, it was binding, and I touched it just a little bit, and it went up and kind of clicked, and I felt the tensioner push back just a hair and then snap back down. So I'm going to leave 2 alone. 3 feels kind of springy. 4, it is bound, but when I push up on it with the pick, it wants to counter rotate, and then it snapped into place. And my system of doing this is different than LPL's, because once I set something, I come back and check all the pins before it. So I came back, 1 is still springy, 2 gave me another like little click and counter rotation. 3 is okay, 4 is okay, 5 gave me some counter rotation and a click. So we come back to the front here. 1, 2. Okay, 3 is giving me counter rotation. And it's okay to push back with this. I wish, let's see, like whenever you're getting counter rotation, let off, but also you can push back. This is not static in the way that you push on it. This is like a clutch. So you want to, be able to be flexible with that. So there's 3. Okay. And I've got a false set going on. You can't really see it, but, it's turned more than it was. Get back here about, I think that's about 4 maybe. Okay, and I got to click out of 4. Then I'm just going to slide past this time. Check 5. 5 is giving me counter rotation. Really light on the tension until I feel it click into place. And then I snap back down on the tension. Okay, 6. Now for one thing, 6 is way back in there. See how much of the shaft is sticking out? And the tip of the pick is on pin 6 right now. So that shows you how far back in there pin number 6 is. So then I come back through, and 2, and come back down. I don't think it needs to go any higher. 3 is okay. 4 is giving me some counter rotation, so I'm going to pick it again. And there, we got that one open. Simple, right? Let me put this one in the vise. And let's see, pull the camera up a little bit. Get this other one here in the vise, and that way hopefully you can see the relationship between tensioning and the pick. Let's see. All right, so here we've got it mounted up in the vise. And you don't have to use a vise to pick these. These are pretty good to, pick in hand. But I want you to be able to see my tensioning on it as well. So hopefully, is that going to block it? Probably. There we go. Is that a little bit better? What do y'all think? Is that better? I mean, it's uncomfortable as heck for me, but yeah, that's going to block everything. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas, maybe. All right, so we're going to try it from this angle. How's this look? And I'll try to exaggerate what I've got with my hands going on here. Okay, the tip of the pick that I'm using is like this. That is the Tron. The Attila, which I don't have an Attila, but the Attila comes up and it points up a little bit more. But you should be able, with any pick that has a shallow hook on it like this, where it just kind of gradually comes up. Like this is one out of the little cheap Chinese set that I have. And you can see how similar they are. Anything with about that rise. And just to give you some scale, here is a postal hook. So you can see how shallow the curve is of these compared to the postal hook. That way it gives kind of a sense of scale of the angle and everything. Does that help you out? So yeah, any short hook. Let's see. Oh wow, Delp. That's pretty cool. 7250. I don't think I've seen that one. And I love Abus. I love Abus stuff. 7240. Not able to be gutted. I have the 72. No, I've got a 7240. I've got a 7240. I take that back. Yeah, this one even does have the Yo style keyway. But you can take these apart. Yeah, I've taken mine apart. It comes apart just like an American 1100 series. All right, so let's get over here, and hopefully you guys can see without my hands in the way. This is a different one than the one I just picked. So again, I'm going to give it enough tension just to pull the slack out of the plug. And you can see it comes down, bends the tensioner just a little bit, but not a whole lot. And then I'm going to feel, and pin 1 is moving, is binding, but when I push up on it, it goes. 2 is loose. 3, okay, gave me a little click, so I'm just going to go with 1 click. 4 is nothing. 5 gave me a click. 6 just gave me a click. Okay, and I'm coming back up here to the front. And what I like to do is when it's giving me the counter rotation, I'll ease up on the tension, and then as I give it more, I'll crank back down on the tension. Again, it's like a clutch in a manual transmission. That's the best analogy I can come up with as far as tensioning. And you're going to hear and feel some of these pins drop as you're picking. And I heard several drop, so I came back and I checked 1. It needed to be set again, and the plug turned just a little bit more after I set it. So let's check 2. Nothing on 2. 3 is binding, and when I give it just a little poke with the pick, it wants to come up and give it a counter rotation. So I let it do that until it snaps back down. Okay, 4 is doing that. And I dropped some stuff. So whenever I drop stuff like that, I'll come back, and since we know that the front pin is going to be a standard, I'll come back and check that first and push that back up. And then you go, and on this one right behind it, 2, I was kind of binding, and then I touched it, and then the plug moved some more, turned some more. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a pick. Okay, it turned, and I lost my false set. So I'm going to come back to 1. And I hit 1 and it turned again a little bit more. 3, it is bound, and when I push up on it, it rotates the core the opposite direction. So I let it and then come back down. Okay, 5, it's fine. 6 is down. Okay, I lift it up on 6, let it rotate just a bit, and then I came across, and there, we've got it open, just like that. So, I mean, yeah, there's some stuff to it. There's, feeling it is like, like I said, your tensioning is like a clutch, like a clutch pedal in a car. And just kind of riding those, ride those spools. When they counter rotate, let up on your tensioning, and then come back down. When you feel it almost come all the way back around, that's when you start giving it more pressure. And just do it with that. And with these, you're not going to know the binding order, and it's going to be a little more difficult to to pick, because you have to re-pick pins several times. Let's see. Dalp, yours is fixed in place. That's interesting. Because mine, let's see. Grab this. Yeah, mine has a screw down the shackle hole. So as soon as you open it, we'll open this one up real quick. And I hate trying to take the keys off the key ring. And I know this is straying from the Titalium, but I'll help you out too. Oh, maybe. No. All right. Just for the sake of time, I'm going to do this. This is a lock that Foxy, aka Red Cat Imaging, gave me way long time ago. That's the key. I don't know if that's the same key, but it's got the same mini style Yale keyway. And there you can see it's got a Phillips or crosshead screw down the shackle hole. So, but yours being fixed in place, that's interesting. Nope. Yeah, do a video on it soon. I'd like to see. Let's see. Letter picker at 5540. Let's see, I've got a 6450, 5540. Let me see if I've got one of those. 6840, 6835, 5840. Hang on. Let's see. You said a 50. 5540. Okay. So you got one of these, the 5540, which this also has the, I don't know, is that keyway similar to what you have? Yeah, I need that light. Is that the keyway that you have in yours, litter picker? So this one was sent to me from, let's see, Leon's Lockpad, all the way over in the UK. It's been a while since I picked it as well. Let's see if I still can. Bottom of the keyway tension. And I'm going to stick with the Tron. Go in. Okay, one kind of moved, but it wasn't really binding. Two is bound, and I got to click out of it. Working under three. Okay, three. And there we go. Of course, you can see the bitting on that. It wasn't going to require much. So I don't know if that's what's in yours or if this is exactly like your lock. No, not the same at all. Really? Okay. So you've got a smaller keyway than this, and honestly, this is about the size of a master lock keyway. Except that it's reverse, and I don't have any M1 reverse blanks. But this was sold in the UK, so you must have a smaller, like Yale-style variant almost, which would be closer to this right here, where you've got this little bit of warding right here, and then that little bit of warding right there. If that's similar to what you've got, I would still stick to, bottom of the keyway tension and put it in there, and then just use a shallow hook to go in and set your pins. That's what I would try. This is the only 5540 that I have. Let's see. Here's a 6840. Is that closer to what you've got, maybe? Ronald, did you get it? You opened it? That's awesome. If you got it open, we're gonna have a cheers to it. Sweet. All right, so litter picker, this is closer to what you've got. This is the 6840 compared to the 5540. You can see the 68 is just a little bit beefier. They're both the same width. And on this one, let's see. Yeah, this one doesn't have it stamped, but here on the actual lock itself, it has YG, which I think that's just a date code on here. But this is, these are the keys to it. All right. Congratulations, Ronald. Cheers, my friend. Awesome. Glad you got it. It just takes having a little bit of patience, kind of a variable but light touch on your tensioner hand, and using a shallow hook, and knowing that you're going to have to go back and reset some pins, repick some pins that that you've already picked. Did it before the wife made you put it down. Well, that's better than yesterday, isn't it? Awesome. Awesome. Glad you got it. All right, litter picker. Yeah, the top of the keyway. Yeah, don't worry about it, especially when you have a Yale style keyway like that. I never recommend top of the keyway for Yale style stuff, which is a Yale. I wish I had a diagram of it. But basically the Yale comes straight up here, angles over that way, angles back this way, and then angles up this way. It has that little tail on it there. That's just horrible for picking. I mean, you can get used to it. But for Yale, you're not going to be able to pick from the bottom of the keyway. You're just not. So you might as well plan on coming in off of this, and instead of tying up your room up here with a top tensioner, just do this. Put a bottom tensioner in there. You may need one that's a little bit thinner. Like I've got this one, which isn't quite, let's see, I need to redo the grip on it. It's a little bit different. It's not as wide. Maybe it is. Yeah, it's just as wide. It's not as thick as this one is. But you just put it in there. And again, the same thing like I was talking about with the 8050s. Just use a couple fingers, take the slack out of the plug. In other words, turn it until it stops and just hold it there. You don't have to jam down on it. You also don't have to just barely press either. Just take the slack out of it and leave it sitting there. And then you go in and you feel for the first binder with your pick. Okay, lift it up till it clicks, and then just feel behind that. If nothing else feels like it is wanting to move, then you probably picked that one too high. So just let up just a little bit or all the way. Let up, reset, go back. Okay, we're going up. And then you try it again with a little bit more pressure on here. And then you go back and you feel. And you feel some more. And this thing's going to make a jackass out of me. There ain't nothing binding up. Now, one trick you can do, if you think you've overset, just kind of bounce your tensioner a little bit, just to see if that releases anything else. Or you really crank down on it. That way you don't overset it. So if you set like pin 1 and then you can't feel anything else binding after you set pin 1, crank down on the tension. And then just go back through there. Something else has got to be bound up. And then sometimes you might just need to start bullying it, which is just lift up on it, on the pins, force them into place. And then come back and check pin 1 just to see if it's moved. Okay, there's pin 1. Okay, there we go. I got a little movement on the plug. Okay, now back here in the back, I've got one that moved the plug a little bit more when I lifted up on him. And now he wants to counter rotate. So I do that. You ease off your tension enough to counter rotate it into place. And then just before he snaps into place, you start giving it more pressure on the tensioner. And one seems to be, okay, there's a hold up there. Okay, so this thing has spools in it. And I'm going to guess that your lock also has spools in it. And once you figure out that it has spools in it, you can ease up on your tension. Just play with your tension. And also just try picking the pins as you get them. This one is being a booger. Okay, one. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, you just got to go in and feel for the pins. Vary your tension on it. Normally with Avis, like I said, even with the 8050s, any of theirs that have spools in them, the standard pin is going to be at the very front. And that will drop back down after you set spools. So if you set a spool farther in the back, go back and check that first pin again. Just keep going back and forth checking them. And that will hopefully get you some success on that lock. Let's see. Let's read the comments here. Anthony, yeah, I lost a top of the keyway wrench doing that one time. Yeah, Delp, I got I do the same thing. Quick set master lock, a number of Avis. I will pick bottom of the keyway. If it is something, if it's a Schlage, which I know you guys don't have Schlage over there, but with a Schlage, especially a Schlage that's mounted in a lever set, I use top of the keyway because you can't. Let's see. Here's a Schlage. You can see here this little bottom swoop. You can put a bottom of the keyway tensioner in there, and then use a very short hook to come in, but you've got to angle your hook like that. And sometimes, if it's a very low cut, or a very deep cut, I should say, on the key, then you're not going to be able to get under it like you need to. So I use top of the keyway on that. Let's look. Litter picker, yeah. Actually, that's kind of how this one was feeling too, to start with. I know I probably picked it once before. And I'm pretty sure that I got this from somebody over in Europe. I don't know where you're located. But I know I got one, and I know I got it from somebody over that way. Probably either Leon or either Leon or Tobias and Julian or somebody else. I can't remember. But yeah, if it feels like pin 1 binds and it feels like you can't move it, then ease off of that tensioner just a bit and go ahead and try forcing number 1 up there. And then if you don't get any feedback off the others, crank down on that tension some more and then go through and just start trying to bully them until, which is put the tip of your pick on that pin and lift it up until you get something out of it. You may have to reset the lock several times, let completely off of tension and then kind of wiggle it back the other direction so that it sort of resets a bit and then go back at it. But, typically pin 1 will bind first, and then you go in and you just vary this. Don't be afraid to bounce it up and down a little bit. If you let all the way off of it, obviously anything that you picked will drop. But if you found a pin that is giving you feedback behind it, then that's okay to drop another pin that you picked, because then you're figuring out your binding order. Just takes a little bit of work. Let's see. Yeah. Check pin 1 after every other pin that you pick. Yep. See. Yeah. I lost one tensioner that I could never find. All the others that I've sent flying, though, I wound up luckily being able to find them as well. Ronald, I am not sure. I don't believe so. Because I've got this one that's new in the pack, and it looks like the same keyway as these others. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's the same. The one that's brand new might have a little sharper edge to it just because it's not had to deal with me picking it. But yeah, I don't think that they come in different keyways. Shotgun and a top of the keyway on Schlage. Yeah, I've got a couple shotguns. I probably should put them in my kit. I don't pick with them normally, but if I'm going to be doing this for work, I might want to carry it with me. And no, not the normal shotgun that I carry with me. Let's see, you're in the UK, but that's not the same keyway at all. Litter picker, I would have gotten this one. I would have gotten this one no more recent than 3 years ago. That's about the last time that I got an international package. And this is the Yale style keyway. If you want to email me, or if you're on Twitter and you follow me, you can, or if you're on Twitter and you don't follow me on there, I'm LockPicking PTLN for Twitter, and then I will put my email address here in the chat. That is my email address. Litter picker is shotgun. Let me find it. Let's see. I just happened to see it the other day. I think I know. There it is. Yeah, I've got a bucket of parts over here I need to go through. Pretty sure I saw it. Anyway. There we go. There is one shotgun. There's two shotguns. Alright, so a shotgun, these little buddies. And they get their name because of how they sort of resemble a sawed-off shotgun. But basically what it is you take a key, just a blank key, and then you cut it down to where the grooves on it are there, and you have a little bit here to torque with. But you can see that it's that same profile, and what you can do is take this, slide it into the bottom of the keyway, and put some pressure on there, and then you have a smoother surface to work from to pick the pins. With this one, I don't think I've ever really had any success. However, this one is for the Schlage Everest, which has a little check pin down there in the keyway, and this is really good just to slide in. I don't have an Everest cylinder sitting here, but if you're picking it and you think that check pin is ready to be set, you can actually just kind of slide this in and it'll lift that check pin, and then you slide it back out and finish picking the rest of your top pins. Let's see. Yep. Litter picker. Yeah, I know. With breaching rounds would probably be the easiest way to get one of these open. I don't have good access to a good firing range like that at the moment. Otherwise, I might do some videos on shooting some locks, but I don't know. I'll leave that to Bozzy and Bill. Let's see. Delp, you did a video on how to make one. Okay, cool. Let's see. Actually, let me look here. LockPicking. Shotgun. Here we go. Hey. Hang on just a second. Share. Copy. Like. Here we go. There you go. There is a link to Dalp's video on making a shotgun. Hopefully that helps somebody. So go ahead and click on that and give it a watch. Hand grenades, C4, they all were. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. So let me go ahead and angle the camera back because it's about time to go in. It's starting to get a little warm out here, even with the AC running. It's about 80 degrees out here. Plus, this is like the second, half a liter of water that I drank this morning, along with other things, maybe. Anyway, Guys, I appreciate y'all showing up. I'm glad, Ronald, that you were able to get your lock open without your wife having to intervene. Um, that's that's always a good thing. Um, so I'm glad about that. Litter picker. I hope that I gave you some decent advice about your ABIS. Again, feel free to email me or Twitter message me, and I'll take a look and see if I recognize the keyway. Um, Maybe give some tips on it. But the biggest takeaway for ABIS locks is most always they contain spool pins. Sometimes they contain more than spools, but most always they contain spool pins. And the way that lock manufacturers do it is if they're going to have spool pins in the majority of the chambers, they're going to have at least one chamber pinned to a standard pin. And that just makes it easier to insert and remove a key in normal operation because, again, they don't make these locks for us to pick. They make them to use. So having a lock with all spools in it would be a little funky. You'd have to wiggle the key to get it to go in. So with ABIS, almost always the first pin, the front pin, is going to be a standard pin. So, at the very least, you can bully that pin, even if it's not binding. Crank down on the tension, bully that pin into place until it snaps. Not your pick, but till you feel a click or a little snap in there. And then you can go and start on the other pins. Let's see, C4. Oh, yeah, C4 is the last combination for safe. All right, Dalp, I appreciate you being here, and guys, we will see Dalp as a guest star, not this Saturday, but the next Saturday on my Saturday Live. So be ready for him to be here. Be ready with earplugs if language gets too out of hand. I'm normally really good on my language, but if you get me around somebody who isn't, who knows what might happen. Anyway, yes. All right, litter picker, I appreciate that. Thank you, Miko, for all the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate everything else. I'm going to at some point I'm going to explore those ignition combination locks that you gave me. I'll set them over there just to free up some space over here for now. The Lockwood does have, the spools are different in the Lockwood though, and I picked one a while back, but the Lockwood spools are definitely different than what the ABIS spools are. But I do have an ABIS from an ABIS 83 that Don's sent me, and it is actually keyed and pinned to the Lockwood standard with like the Lockwood spools in there. And I don't believe I've been able to pick it on camera in a while, so we may take a look at that. Try not to swear. Dalp, do you swear you won't swear? Well, hey, we'll forgive you. We'll forgive you if you do. Alrighty, guys. So I need to go pay a water bill really quick. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wind this up. That way, I can go do some laundry and some other like adult stuff. Dalp can go to bed, and the rest of y'all can get on with your day. Ronald, where do I get all the info on my locks? honestly, it's just been from collecting them, picking them, and taking them apart. The way that I learned about the 8050s and how they're pinned up and everything is I actually drilled one apart. You can do that, like, if you find the top of the keyway and then up here on the top, you might have to rough it up with some sandpaper, but you can eventually see the little circles for where all the chamber plugs are. And it's just aluminum, so all you have to do is just drill it out real easy. But everything in there is stainless steel. I mean, I would recommend it, selling them. I would recommend them for something that's going to be around water, or around, in the outdoors quite a bit, but that is securing something that is lower value, which of course, lower value is a relative term. I mean, to me, anything under $20 is a low value. Some people, anything under $500 or $1,000 is low value. So it depends on how much you're willing to lose. But I would definitely trust those out in, kind of out there in the weather, and maybe to lock up like a locker next to a pool, or if you have like a little dock locker on your pier, your boat dock or whatever, that would be a good place to use them. As long as you're storing stuff like life jackets, swimming pool noodles, stuff like that. Stuff that you don't want to get gone, but that if it does get gone, it's not going to be the end of the world. So, yeah. But yeah, to answer your question, Ronald, I get it. I've just gotten it over the years of watching other people's videos, and also getting the locks myself, and just exploring them, taking them apart, picking them. Yeah, very shallow lip spools. Litter picker. Well, now litter picker, it's a lock that's a little bit higher than some of my standards. Master lock is quick, cheap, and easy. Just saying. Alrighty, guys. I'm going to get off of here. It's starting to get warm out here, and I got to go pay a water bill. So, y'all have a great rest of the day, rest of the evening, rest of tomorrow, depending on what side of the world you're on. And we'll be here Saturday, this coming Saturday. I will have Tyler Thomas with me here in the shop. So be sure to tune in then. 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Saturday, this coming Saturday. So anyway, y'all have a great day. Be safe, be healthy, be happy.